performers who just better. We'll try some new material. Just let me know if you like any of these. And before we start, can we just say this? I don't care what you say about the Japanese, but they really know how to get rid of a prime minister. Okay, that's quite funny.
We'll keep that one.
Now let's just see. Now we've got Americans here. Let's see if this has anything. They've just launched a new Boris Johnson foam mattress. No memory. Boris Johnson, a man who makes estate agents seem trustworthy. Okay. Boris Johnson wants to stay on as caretaker prime minister. That's like a chef getting caught with his cock in the soup going, listen, I've got to go, but can I stay until November? I'm learning to speak Russian so I can personally renegotiate my next gas bill. Now, a lot of you have been out in the sun. You may have noticed, if you're from abroad, you're from Florida, are you? You may have noticed that British people pay no attention to the hole in the ozone layer. European people pace themselves in the sun, 2 hours in the sun, 2 hours in the shade. British people pace themselves 8 hours in the sun, 2 days in casualty. I saw a woman breastfeeding in public today, which I don't particularly like because the baby's head always obscures your view. One of the best things about the heat wave, of course, is there's lots of very good looking people out there wearing very, very little. Of course, there's also very, very... Actually, I'll fuck that joke up. Okay. Now, you're not allowed to... I don't know if this counts in the States. In this country... You live here?
Yeah.
Alright, so you know all this shit. Do you not think it's weird that you're not allowed to smoke in pubs anymore? Don't you think that... I mean, I just think alcohol and cigarettes go together. Don't you think they should have some pubs that are just for smokers?
Yeah.
Smokers only pubs, a pub where you have to smoke, right? If you see somebody who's not smoking, you just walk up and go, do you mind? Because I think, I used to, if you smoke, the worst thing about smoking is if you go out with somebody who doesn't smoke. Has anyone done that?
Oh yeah.
Because they let you get away with it for about a month, and then they come up to you and they go, do you know what, kissing your mouth's like kissing an ashtray. And you think, well, kiss somebody else then. I don't smoke down there, tuck in. Okay, so the warnings on cigarette packets in the States, I don't know what they say in the packets there. The warnings on cigarette packets now in this country are just horrific. Smoking kills, smoking can cause a very slow, painful death. And I thought, well, you know, so can women, can't they? But, listen, hear me out. There's no warnings on those bra straps, is there? When you undo a woman's bra, you don't suddenly see a sign warning this could lead to penetration, unwanted children, a shotgun marriage, a horrific divorce, and you losing half of everything you've ever owned. Do yourself a favour, jerk off, and then have a cigarette. Okay, is that alright so far?
Yes.
Now, we're going to do a couple of weird ones here. House training pets is very difficult, do you not agree? Because I think training dogs is a lot easier than training the Ukrainian refugees in your basement. Wow, you didn't like that at all. I'm going to keep that one in, by the way, for a proper audience. Now, I think one of the best things about shoplifting is that you don't notice the increase in the cost of living. Anyone here ever been to Norway? Because at the moment, I mean, if you've been to the self-service checkouts in Tesco's, they do this really cheeky thing where they try and fund you into charity. Have you seen it when you buy something for £2.56 and they say, the self-service checkout thing will go, do you want us to round this up to £3 and give it to charity? Yeah. And I was thinking, no, I fucking don't. I want you to round it down and give me the difference. So how about this then? Norway. Has anyone ever been to Norway? I know it sounds a bit weird saying that. Because if you want England to seem a little less expensive, my advice is to go to Norway. 26 quid for a pizza. I had to order off the children's menu when I went to restaurant. The bloke came up and he said, what do you fancy? I said, well, I fancy a steak, but I can't afford it, so it looks like I'd have to have Captain Oleg's toddler's platter. Comes with balloons and a Viking helmet. Watch the tennis at the weekend. Do we like Nick Kyrgios? I know he's a bit of a bad boy. Do you like Nick? I like Nick Kyrgios. He's on Twitter, and also he's a bit of an antidote to all these straight-laced tennis players. I personally like the fact that he builds in the prices of these code violation fines into his everyday existence, doesn't he? Because he got fined the other day for swearing. The bloke went, $16,000, Mr. Kyrgios. How do you feel? He said, take 32, go fuck yourself. Alright, so you're looking at someone on stage now who's just finished an anger management course. Well, I say finished it, I'm not allowed to go back till my till I pay for the furniture and my counsellor's wounds have healed, right? But let me tell you, I don't think I really needed to go to anger management. If you ever go to anger management, this is the first thing they say to you. They look to me, goes, Sean, if you ever think about losing your temper, right, take a deep breath and count to 10. And do you know what you learn from that? How quick you can count to 10 before you hit somebody with a lampshade. Because I'll tell you one thing, he said to me, he said, Sean, you can't hate everything. And I said, I don't. I loathe some things, right? And there's a difference between hate and loathe, right? Because if you hate somebody, you know this as a guy, you can say to a guy, I used to hate you, but I really liked you. But if you loathe somebody, there's nothing they could ever do to make up for it. They could swim through burning oil, holding disabled kids aloft. And you still think, wanker. Okay, I've got a couple other ones here. Is this okay for you? I met a guy the other day, how about this for a weird occupation, right? He said, I asked him what he did, because like you meet lots of people doing your bit. You guys as performers will know this, right? It's a well-trodden path that you ask people what they do for a living. Met a girl the other day in the audience, she goes, I said, what do you do for a living? She goes, I'm a dancer, but another 2 inches I could have been a model. I said, look, another 2 inches I could have been a porn star. It's all Another guy, I asked him what he did for a living, he said professional bomb disposal technician. And I thought, you don't have to say professional, do you? You pretty much assume that if someone's diffusing an explosive device, that they're going to be. But the last thing you want to hear from me is just keep your fingers crossed, I've never done this before. Yeah, I've got here. One second. Alright, here we go. I don't know how asylum seekers survive days being duct taped to the undercarriage of moving vehicles. Because my next door neighbour's cat only lasted an hour. Alright, here's another one you might not like, right? Confronting poachers in Africa requires tact. You can't just say, let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's unfair to say that men just want to get inside women's pants. We don't. We want to get inside what's inside women's pants. Okay. You know when a relationship is over when you have loud arguments, long silences and no sex. I hate first dates. Breaking up is very hard to do in relationships, which is why I only date women who have nut allergies. Because you don't have to give them a speech, just pull out a packet of cashews and they fuck off, don't they? Thank you very much indeed.